Hi everyone, I'm Dom from Sony and I'd like to welcome you once again to another episode of Explore Xperia, the series where we aim to show you some new and useful features on your Xperia device. Today we're going to be looking at the recent Android 11 update and some of the new features you can now do on your Xperia handset. Android 11 brings new features, user interface updates, and easier ways of managing your messages and smart home devices, as well as an exclusive feature which can turn your Xperia handset into an external monitor. But more on that later. First, let's cover some of the new features that are now available on the Xperia 1 Mark II that were previously only available on the Xperia 5 Mark II. Using Cinema Pro, you can now film in 4K HDR and 120 frames per second to create cinematic and dramatic slow motion shots. In Photo Pro, you can now create your favorite setting, save it, and then recall it whenever you like using the memory recall feature. And given Sony's passion for preserving battery life with such features as stamina mode and more recently HS power control, Sony have brought more flexibility and customizations to their battery care function to promote even better long-term battery health for your Xperia 1 Mark II. And Android 11 brings some new features to the Xperia range, such as messaging bubbles and notification management, giving you greater control over what appears on your screen and giving you the ability to multitask while staying in touch with friends and family. And the way I was able to record those messaging bubbles was by using the new inbuilt screen recording function now available in the notification bar. And one of my favorite new features, access to smart home devices just by long pressing the power button. I genuinely use this every day to control my office at home. And if you have accessibility issues and rely on assistive and adaptive technologies, voice access has got you covered, with easy to use labels on apps to help you control and navigate your Xperia just by speaking out loud. You can even use it when there's no data connection. In addition to this, you now have improved media controls with better Google Home integration and Android Auto over Bluetooth. But I know why you're all here. You saw the thumbnail, you all want to know about the external monitor feature. Well, the Xperia 1 Mark II and 5 Mark II already had the ability to be linked up to a TV or a monitor or even a projector with the use of the USB-C to HDMI cable, so you could supersize your display. But now, with the Android 11 update, you can essentially reverse this and use your Xperia as an external monitor. In order to activate this, you'll need to go into Settings, Device Connection, Connection Preferences, and then you'll need to enable the external monitor feature. Once you've done this, you'll see the external monitor app appear in your app tray and a tutorial will take you through the first steps. But basically, now you'll be set up to use your Xperia as an external monitor, either by using a USB capture card or by using a compatible camera. Now, more on that in a moment, but first I do have to be clear. This is different to the Xperia Pro external monitor feature. The Xperia Pro has a dedicated HDMI input and can support up to 4K HDR 60 frames per second input. And because this is a separate input, it means you can also use this feature at the same time as charging your device. But the feature on the Xperia 1 Mark II and 5 Mark II is done through USB, so you won't be able to charge at the same time, and the device you're plugging into the smartphone needs to support USB video class output, also known as UVC. For example, a compatible camera. With the Xperia 1 Mark II set up as an external monitor, you can connect the Xperia to something like the Sony ZV-1 or any other UVC camera using just a single USB cable. You can then take advantage of the fact that you have a bigger, higher resolution screen that's perfect for YouTubers or vloggers. You can even use this setup with the camera connected to the Xperia 1 Mark II or 5 Mark II to stream directly to places like YouTube thanks to the data connection on the phone that's attached to it. But you don't have to limit yourself to just using this connection or just using this UVC compatible camera. As I said before, you can use a USB capture card, so you can actually connect almost any camera or HDMI output device to your Xperia. This brings some fantastic advantages to the Xperia 1 Mark II and the 5 Mark II. For example, when you're filming by yourself, depending on the length of the cable, you can use the Xperia to ensure you or the things you're recording are in focus by pinching to zoom in on the subjects. You can also add grid lines and frame lines to make sure your composition is framed up appropriately, and you can also adjust the brightness of the monitor to suit your ambient lighting. And by using a USB capture card, this means that you can actually use your Xperia to extend your display on your laptop, which can be really helpful when sharing screens on video conferencing apps. So, all in all, Android 11 not only brings you the latest that Android has to offer, but it also improves your Xperia 1 Mark II with features previously only found on the Xperia 5 Mark II, and it brings exclusive features to both the 1 Mark II and 5 Mark II, which add to their versatility. And it also strengthens your Sony ecosystem thanks to their compatibility with Sony's digital imaging products. I want to thank you once more for joining me on today's episode of Explore Xperia, and I will see you next time.